The Fist Clinch, y'all know what it is. Now we do this, y'all. We locked and loaded for another episode. FreedomRadio.com. Y'all can get in with us. That's some makes some history. Takes some history, y'all. Coming in the late, you know what I'm saying? We gonna say quality time gonna outweigh quantity time. Again, quality time gonna outweigh quantity time. Live and direct, y'all. Y'all can get up with us. 708-223-8953 or 929-477-3785. This is a weekly program with the Black Panther Party Cubs. Y'all heard what it is. Hosted by Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. and also that old lady of rage. Spirit of making history, y'all. Let's do this. Money phrase in the building, that's what it is. Comrades, see in the building. All right, comrade, to us right on. Real talk. Dig lonely. Mother Hoover, the mother chairman Larry Hoover. We're gonna talk about that, no doubt about it. We're gonna definitely spend our clinch fist club as well as community condolences, y'all. A lot happening, you know what I'm saying? A lot more gonna be happening, y'all. Nicole Clark, welcome, Freedom on Radio, welcome to Intellectual Radio to China. See you tuning in with us, that's what it is. Y'all make sure I can be heard over their ways. Y'all, matter of fact, engage in this revolutionary ritual with us if y'all can. Take a pause for the call, step outside. You know, the weather got a little light up there, you know, a little better. Talking about Chicago or Chirac in particular. Holler out the back door, the front, the back window, whatever. Let them know that, again, Freedom on Radio, Intellectual Radio, once again, is locked and loaded. You dig? And where we at? Whew, moving and grooving. PSAs, people service announcements. You dig? Again, and I know this sounds redundant. If some of y'all are tired of hearing it, you don't believe how tired I am of saying it. Condolences, continued Cub and community condolences. You know what I'm saying, to the countless of brothers and sisters, our people, the children, old man that we losing. You know, and again, when we throw out these stats and facts and these numbers, and whether we talking about in Chirac, you know what I'm saying, which is a micro. Right on, Queen Nuba. Yes, indeed. We definitely gonna give our honor, respect to Mother Hoover. Yes, indeed. It's personal as well as political. You did, and one thing I made a comment yesterday, a statement. I never want to become immune to what's happening, to the conditions and to the casualties we incur in this ongoing war that's being waged on our people. You dig? And in fact, Assata Shakur has said one of the things about being oppressed, you must continue to, we must struggle to be able to distinguish what's normal and abnormal. And you know, the deal is, the reality is, in struggle, we're going to engage in some cold actions. However, we want to struggle not to become a cold people. Again, not to become a cold people. Little brother Scrapper, you know what I'm saying, over there in Inglewood, young brother Jess. In fact, it's one brother yesterday, we just heard he was murdered yesterday. If you look at the show from last week, he actually typed in, he commented last week about, he remember when I went to go meet with Nipsey Hussle. He commented about that. This was last week. His name is on Facebook, Scrap Art Gang. And that was commented last week. And he was just murdered yesterday. And I, you know, brother, we have some conversations recently, you know what I'm saying, touch bases. In fact, Comrade Rossi Line was just in Chicago, just in Chirac, and he had said something to the effect, he said, Chairman, I've been knowing you about 15 years, but I thought I knew you. I really got to know you in 15 minutes, just seeing you really in your office in the streets. And I'm glad to get to see that hands-on, the work that we do. You know, we take pride in it, you know, so we don't take it lightly, you know what I'm saying? And it's you know, it's life and death situations. It's, you know what I'm saying, it's we have to utilize our philosophical tool of dialectical materialism. Where, you know, this one block may be cool at this minute, this block may not be cool this other minute. And I had actually, in fact, some of the people that he actually met last week, three of those, I think approximately three of those individuals have been shot, and, you know, and one murdered, and that we know about. And also situation on 63rd and Sealy last week with at the baby shower, the children were gunned down. Condolences, you know. And we don't want that to become just some sort of trivial greeting, you know what I'm saying? Like I make a joke about it. I say, it's so you think loose squares is like a greeting in our community now. You see people now, loose squares. I say, damn, what is that? That's how we greet people each other. That's how we greet each other now, you know. But the condolences dynamic, again, we don't know when we become cold hearted, you know what I'm saying? It does not impact us. Also, young brother Cox, the son of DC Cox, and also Barbara Easley Cox. You know what I'm saying? Philadelphia, condolences there. Also, condolences in regards Miss Hoover, the mother of a long-held political prisoner, um, Chairman Larry Hoover. Um, and we just get the word yesterday that she had passed. And I was at her last birthday celebration. I think not the last one, or it was the last one. And I know she was 81, so I might have missed this past last one, but I know it was within the past year that I was fortunate I had the opportunity to go to her home, the family, and be there. And in situations such as this, we do. I want to like talk about like we talk about like kind of like the put it in context. That Tupac had said about this when he did the song "Brenda's Got a Baby," and he had said something to the effect. He said, "Let me explain how this affects the whole community." You know, I had said before, like they say women look at guys. They say they look at what type of relationship they have with their mothers, so on and so forth. And like even in leadership, um, it's just something that studying people look at leadership. I recall a situation in the Quilombos. The Quilombos are the marooned islands. You heard me talk about them before. These are the marooned islands in places such as, in particular, Brazil. Also, I don't think they call them Quilombos in Jamaica and other places, but these are what Minister UEPD referred to as liberated territories. In other words, places where you recognize that we as a whole are not free. However, these are liberated territories. And the Quilombos in Brazil, there was where they challenged and fought courageously against that of chattel slavery. In fact, there was some that were so detached that they didn't get the word that Fremont says right on Revolutionary Love and Appreciation, no doubt about it. Yes, indeed. Um, our Queen Felicia Abdul, well, welcome Fremont Radio, right on, right on. The Quilombos, that one of them was so detached that they actually get the word that chattel slavery was over until around approximately 1985. Again, that's how they were. I mean, isolated from what was going on. And Clinchfield, speaking of Brazil, we got we got the phenomenal resistance from such forces, Zumbi dos Post-Malas. You go to Brazil, you see Zumbi, you see, in particular around the Black Conscious Day, November, the relationship to Zumbi. But also, I'll be remiss not to even just talk about the present climate of Brazil and other places. What's going on in Venezuela, so on and so forth. Different dynamics about people are they're happy talking about your next month and then June. When you go to Brazil, you won't have to have a visa anymore. However, look at look at the climate. Look at who's put in place in the U.S. The U.S. ain't got no problem. With a Cuba. That they're working towards establishing, as opposed to that we seen under the tenure of Commandante Fidel Castro. You know what I'm saying? So when they have these other, you see this moving fast and fast. Other these places, that were once used as seasoning period spots. These were places where we were kidnapped from Africa. They would take us to these different for the breaking process. And places like Haiti, for example, Haiti were with those who were resistant to the point that they said we can't break them, leave them right there. And but you see, like even the physical look, like the neo-colonialists that the U.S. are putting in place. They even like in Afghanistan, they even look like straight up, white, Europeans, you know what I'm saying? So it's certain concessions that people be happy about, these visas on. So, but you have to look at what's the political climate at what expense, you know what I'm saying? But back to my example, I kind of went off on a thing, but the example was in Brazil. I recall going to one of the Quilombos, and our ambassador of international affairs and our chairwoman Suzette, we took a delegation over there to touch down with certain forces, and I recall in the Quilombos, this brother, he had to be at least about I'm gonna say close to 80. And I remember when we this whole delegation, they called for him to meet us in the Quilombos. And when he came, and he was telling through the translator, explaining now how the corporations, the Monsantos and Coca-Colas and the corporations, they were picking up his people amongst his community to, to get them to make, to be more open and, and go against and even to challenge leadership. And he said they would pull they would get certain trinkets. They would get cell phones. And this, we heard about this doing with the colonialists with the indigenous community. Who they would give alcohol to, who they would get tobacco to, we heard about this on the plantations in Africa. But he was explaining this to me. Even during our conversation, I recall him sending a young cat up, literally to climb the tree and just bring down a coconut. So we drink the coconut right there. And during our dialogue, we were talking. He made some point. He said that he had never even, no one in his community had never even seen eyeglasses. They never had any use for eyeglasses until the corporations would come, and they were coming closer and closer. And there were different divisions happening, being implemented, within this community. And during this conversation, another elderly lady came out, and she was like going to this thing respectfully. And then she was saying something to him, and I was like, what? I said, what's going on? And they said, no, that's his mother telling him to go, groom his hair before we have this meeting. And I tripped, and I said, I watched that, just even how you related, with his mother. And Chicago is known for a number of things, but particularly the question of organization, which is an aspect, something that can be directly connected or correlated to that of one dynamic of Chicago being historically one of the top segregated cities in the country. And in other words, we say don't flatter ourselves. Any actions in our community that the colonized or oppressed community engages in, it's a result of something, that who we oppressed by. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. Abdul Shakur, no doubt about it. Clinch with condolences to young Cox, no doubt about it. In Philadelphia. In fact, the services are tomorrow, Thursday. Right on. Free them all, comrade. Cool. That's what it is. So, Sister Linda Brewer, free them all. Revolutionary level respect. Good to see y'all in the building with us. No doubt about it. Clinchfield salute to the delegation to Southern Illinois, which I couldn't make. That's a whole other story. But all the forces, the comrades, mother comrades, our advisory board that went down there. Y'all make sure y'all check out the photos, the video footage, and the presentations. And this, I was supposed to be there. And that's, the reality is, it's going to be a situation where where we got to spread our paws, you know what I'm saying, and make it happen. And sometimes forces, I told the comrade Daphne last minute, I need you to get a represent. She's like, oh, chairman, what you mean? I said, hey, we got to stick and move. And I told her, I give, in fact, this brother who's a lieutenant of education in Chicago branch, Illinois chapter, Michael McCarty, had told me that Chairman Fred Senior, that is, was set to go do his presentation. In his last minute, he couldn't do it yet. Something else that came up. He had told Lieutenant of Education that he had to go speak, and the brother had told me, he told Chairman Fred, he said, man, I don't do no public speaking. And Chairman Fred said, man, hey, these size 12s will be up your backside. Let's make it happen. And the brother said that he had wanted to do that speaking. He ain't stopped speaking yet. You know what I'm saying? But again, just want to clinch fist salute to the comrades, you know what I'm saying? I mean, as we stop, drop, and roll, make it happen, you know what I'm saying? And again, just clinch fist salute to the comrades, you know what I'm saying, who have and are sacrificing so much, you know what I'm saying, again, to make not only the major campaign we're working on there at the Hampton House, but just to work in general to make it happen, something that we do not take for granted, y'all. Real talk. Speaking of which, we need y'all support, y'all, whatever y'all can. Make sure y'all hit us up at the Cash App, Save the Hampton House, GoFundMe, Chairman Fred Jr. at Gmail and PayPal.com. Save the Hampton House and other campaigns we're working on. I'm not getting sidetracked. We're back to the knowledge in Brazil. But about Chicago, I drew from Brazil's leadership. But the organization question, and it's something that's known for, and similar to, like I said, like that of Brazil, where you see like the drum is still a big thing. And it's not just because it's something our people in Brazil just like the drum. It's due in part to different dynamics of how and who we were colonized by in different locations. For example, the drum was outlawed in North America. The drum, on the other hand, was never out. It was not outlawed, you know what I'm saying, in places like Brazil. So you can still see the impact. You can see the impact of the organizational question, the impact of the daily machine, the Capone era. Actually, even with the white community, Capone was initially out of New York. Later on here in Chicago, the whole, everything is like, structure, organization. And this is something a lot of people be tripping about like, and I tell you take this into account when you talk about different chapters, different, even organizing. You just can't have a blanket approach. You can't. You're taking into account weather conditions. Some people have never even had a frame of reference of organization, no structure, never. It's a foreign dynamic to them. But I think like and even though it's been decimated, I mean extremely, Chicago has. I remember going down to Mother Son's home with Chief Malik's son Prince Ainge, and just and how even with the leaderships of different organizations, it was not detached from even like the state gives this impression of like even the organizations, and they give this, or even not just the street tribes, even with revolutionary organizations, or just even black people in general. And this is something that they give us. It gives us this detached, stoic assessment, like gang members or revolutionaries or militants, and it takes away the human dynamic. It takes away the fact that these human beings. In fact, I recall it in court one time, and I was in a court case. Now, I remember the attorney was responding to the state's position. They was asking someone a question like, did they ever receive a phone call from Jeff Ford, from Chief Malik? And just that alone, it's, people like, whoa, you got a phone call. But the attorney's comeback was, does he have a family? This one said, everyone like shocked, like, yes, he does. So that phone call, could it be inclusive of a conversation about your family, so on and so forth? And it was something that even people say, whoa, they never thought about that way. Because black people are blanketed with, with these, our communities are with these absolutes, again, these stoic definitions, you know what I'm saying? Leave talk, Comrade Angel, right on. Free them all. Comrade Quan, the building, free them all. Yes, sir. And I'm saying it to say that these are human beings. These are, in fact, I made a point one time about, like, I asked some guys, we was in New York one time, and we was going, there was a show going on, and these forces, I said, we're going to address the business about the political prisoners. And some of these individuals, they actually have family members that are political prisoners in New York. They were laughing like, Chairman, you're not going to be able to get in the show. And I said, I said, what you mean? We come from the cloth for Marcus Garvey. Failure is not an option. So I recall going down there. And when we first got down there, then even some people, Kevin Lyles, other people in New York, they seen me. They're like, whoa, it's what you got. What Paul Lamar, what Plan B got? Where they at? And I said, well, they on the way. And we got in there. But I remember later on talking to some of these guys in New York, and I was like, listen, I don't understand why y'all don't hold all these different cats accountable. Because, like, one, the artists, I see, even though other places may see them as like these superstars, whatever, but it's a phenomenon like in Chicago with the street tribes. These are people that we are connect. We know their families. You know what I'm saying? They're not superstars, even though the media they'll put them out like, isolated. Or this gang war. We know the contradiction. We know, the brothers, the families, sisters, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And this is important to acknowledge. You know what I'm saying? The different dynamics, about the impact of families, it's Winnie Mandela has said that when a person is in prison, it does not simply impact the prisoner, but the entire community. And you can go by Mother Hoover's home on her birthday, or in fact, not just simply limited to her birthday. You can go on any day. I recall, going with Brother Ross, just, him dropping some cigarettes by there, or just drop to check a well-being check, and just different people just check up on. And just the pride that even some of them brothers, how they say they Larry's men, just going for her birthday celebration, the honor and the woven, the interrelating of the community and the family, you know what I'm saying? So it's not just this stoic definition or assessment of you hear these names, and it's just cold. You hear these names, you like, who is that? Larry Hoover, Jeff Ford, you know what I'm saying? Willie Lewis, so. But these are people who have families, who have been taken from families, you know what I'm saying? And so again, we want to, this again for the record, extend our condolences, Brother Chairman Larry Hoover's his mother, to the entire family, and not just in the biological sense, to that community. And I'm sure, so they had the upcoming events, saying, man, saying that and the respect, and this is something that will be shown, that in particular a community that is under attack is something that we cannot afford to dismiss. In other words, these communities. Some people may say surrogate families, or send them you like the moms, or you hear the Cubs, Deborah Johnson, the Cool and Jerry, in official capacity, resides on our advisory board. In so many situations, saying is the mother comrade, and not in an abstract way, just because it sounds, like a, just some Brady Bunch Walton type of way. But again, it's something that it does tap into a void that our communities have been robbed of. And because if it's not addressed, if it's not there, if there are not these different mothers and father figures in our community, there's an entity that is willing and able and right there ready to say, we will suffice for that. And that entity is the entity that is the same entity that is responsible for taking our fathers, taking our mothers, imprisoning those with backbone in our communities. You know what I'm saying? And that entity that we're speaking of is that none other than the state. So I'm saying, again, everything is political. Happy birthday. Excuse me. Clench fist, continue, club and community condolences to Mother Hoover, Mother Chairman Larry Hoover, and this dynamic, we need to put it again in its correct political context. You know what I'm saying? The man who's been in prison, and how many generations have been impacted, will be impacted. So again, we want to keep that in this context again. So tie this in, and the people's pain reflects. People say, okay, well, this, that, how does that impact me? This is we ascribe and we utilize a philosophical tool of dialectical materialism. We understand that we are impacted by the dynamics. And our actions impact others. Real talk, y'all. Real talk. Oh, it's an honor. It's an honor. It's an honor. It's an honor, money phrase. And it's, and it's an honor to be able to serve the people. I just want to give a clench fist salute to those who respectfully overrode my words. The champion, we can see it in man. We see it in you pull down, man. Grab a breather, man. Now, don't get it twisted. Don't try to override this word too much. Now, don't get it twisted. Though we relate to democratic centralism, people would say so. Don't get it twisted now. But again, I remember speaking of different leadership for different student organizations. I recall this standing joke that myself and Willie Lloyd, the unknown vice lord, said. We would joke about how you get away from your security, how you get private time, and so the brothers that was on respective security, we like you shake them this way, you go this way, you hit down this road, and their position was both of the brothers on our respective security. They like we gonna be on point, we on top of y'all, like man, we don't care what y'all try to do. That's what we talking about. But again, we need a structure where people can even we lack, and I'm saying, and those forces who pulled me to the side, said, "Champion, you get a breather, man." You know what I'm saying? It's bigger than you. It's over your hands. So I appreciate that. I mean, Dreadlocks, right on. Free my way back at you. Right on. If you want to see all in business, what it is, making history, taking history. And with making history, taking history, and taping history. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is, y'all. When the phrase Abdul Shakur, again, no doubt about it. To young brother Cox, I continue condolences. Karenik, I see you in the building. That's what it is, y'all. Let's make history. Let's take history. Let's tape history, y'all. D-Boy, I see you in the building. That's what it is. Free them all. So we talk about that. The birthday. Excuse me again. The transition of Mother Hoover, the mother of Chairman Larry Hoover. Again, the people's pain reflects, y'all. You know what I'm saying? And we are not that base. We're not that trivial. People say like you hear different comments about regards to Nipsey Hussle. Well, did you know him personally? Whatever. We are connected. You know what I'm saying? And the deal is, low battery. I need that phone. I'll let y'all get this for a few minutes. All right, y'all. Let's try to do it on time. Y'all bear with me. It's playing in the building. Am I back on? Fremont back on? Fremont, I'm on? Okay, y'all bear with us. Go with us. Come with us. Okay. Y'all know I don't like to do no commercial, but had that cup. So we're gonna come back on in a few seconds this way. You know what? cool. I got it. I'm just saying, yeah, it's perfect. I know anybody calling me doing this show. Got to be more careful. Yeah, Primo. Okay, we good? We on? We good? Okay. Right on, right on. Okay, I think I'm charging. Okay, good, good. All right, right on. Okay, Primo. Um, I didn't get to do much research, background research I want to do on this subject matter. So we're gonna be following up on this also. Ivanka Trump, the daughter of U.S. President Donald Trump's um, I don't know what's a delegation. 'Cause I don't know. You know, what I'm saying, what they said the delegation was for, but a number of stuff was in particular that of Ethiopia, and her position was that of she, you know, what I'm saying, about women uniting, and so on and so forth, and you know, what I'm saying, and this there's so many dynamics, so many similar tactics, you know what I'm saying, that have been employed to that of the military defeat of the Black Power movement, the colonization of Africa, you know what I'm saying, the attack on the colonization of the indigenous community, Puerto Rico, you name it. And that is a dynamic of exploiting contradictions within our community, within the oppressed community. It's a war tactic. I mean, whether you look at or you read Machiavelli, 48 Laws of Power, what have you, but in particular that of the imperialists, with its, you know what I'm saying, contradictions, whether we talking about the generational contradictions or the gender contradiction, what have you. And and this is something in this day and age, you know what I'm saying, through the media, through the TV, so on and so forth, and exploits contradictions that, you know, so they may appear to be dormant in our community. However, it's a war tactic that they are, you know what I'm saying, that is intense. And I know sometimes, you know, people sum it up or don't sum it up, speak about it subjectively. Well, like, you know what, man, you know, this is a day of the woman, so and so, this is a day of the man. And I struggle with forces. I take that. In fact, I pick my moves. So I struggle with. I struggle to identify and acknowledge forces. Let's recognize. Let's call it contradiction. What community? That will let that puts out what else that does not acknowledge the agenda of their respective community, whether we're talking, you know what I'm saying, talking the white community in particular, whether we're talking the Irish, the Jewish, what have you, that allows contradiction within the gender, you know, to be exploited, or the generational, you know what I'm saying, as opposed to saying that this is the agenda. You know, we do acknowledge there are contradictions, and we'll deal with them. But it'll be a cold day down below before we allow a foreign entity to come in and you know what I'm saying, to come flip the script. Flip the script. Imagine some representatives from Ethiopia or any other place in Africa coming, you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, going to England, you know what I'm saying, and saying, well, we're just going to deal with the women, just deal with the men, you know what I'm saying, and pull, you know what I'm saying, when there's a whole populace that's being, you know what I'm saying, that's under attack. And look historically, if traveling to England is too far, you may say, well, Chandler, you kind of taking it there. I don't have no passport. I really ain't finna go to travel that far. Let's keep it closer. Let's say the contradict with Oprah Winfrey. Let's with the wine. People say, okay, can you call out the Weinsteins? Can you know what I'm saying, among the country with the Harvey Weinsteins and others with the same ability or venom that can be, you know, they call out, you know what I'm saying, regards to black men or black women, so on and so forth. And again, this is something that our whole with the balance out, I'm saying, not just for with the men and women, the men, women, males and females, which I do distinguish, men, women, males and females. I've said on a number of occasions, people said that Lil Wayne, the rapper Lil Wayne, Carter, that he doesn't have respect for women. I say I differ. I say no. I say the young white Jewish girl that he was supposed to marry, it was a different respect. It was not different. It was a respect. You must acknowledge, you know what I'm saying, even you know what I'm saying, how we deal with contradictions in our community, the race question, and you know what I'm saying, and then to be able to fight for a terrain, an environment where we can deal with our contradictions, but not at the expense of something that is historically exploited contradictions in our community. And people say, do we get caught up in the absolute? Do we just dismiss that there are contradictions within our community? No. However, we've seen such cases where if you deal with subjectivity, you come up short. I mean, even our relationships, sad to say, to this, we when you colonize, one of the dynamics about that is you're not really empowered to even dictate your relationships. People say, "Oh no," like I remember even the issue about Thomas Jefferson. People say that there was a relationship with Sally Hemings. I said, relationship? How can there be a relationship? This during the era of chattel slavery, right? You know what I'm saying? I mean, ain't no telling master, you got no headache, or I don't feel like talking tonight. You know what I'm saying? So you have to put stuff in correct context, be real careful with the different terms, you know what I'm saying? That's we and like even such cases of Harriet Tubman that, you know, mind you, due to the ruling class, what they may, according to what's beneficial to them, they may need more um labor, you know what I'm saying, in the field, or they may need more at the time. They might need more individuals to work inside the house, or the breeding process. So this trickles down. This impacts even who's going to your pool to pick from. Who, you know what I'm saying? So people say, we do got a choice. No, you go look in our communities. You have to put stuff in context. You know what I'm saying? Of who's calling strings, what type of drugs in our community, and we, you know what I'm saying, what's popular, so on and so forth. And Harriet Tubman, even with her husband, there were cases she would leave a bale of hay right by him and make her move. You know what I'm saying? So, but however, that's not, you can't. It's incorrect to come up with a reactionary assessment. And say, well, man, the women in general were doing more than the men. You feel what I'm saying? Now, if you want to have a conversation, you put it in context about what was going down. What, you know what I'm saying? What type of males were being raised that were being rewarded, so on and so forth. In fact, Mother Comrade had pointed out. I mean, there's one brother who was saying like, well, there were more women in the party, and she said, well, make sure you put in context what time, who was being locked up, so on and so forth. So it's not. It's in Latin America. You just don't say, well, the Sandinistas, well, you know, so they the ones, the women was one carrying the guns. You put in context about the Contras, how they were subjective and this, you know, and weren't searching the women. You know what I'm saying? So we have to adjust, assess, and make certain moves, but don't come up with a reactionary assessment, you know what I'm saying, bringing your baggage in, you know, and just drawing from the entire community. I remember one of them talk shows, they had Ava DuVernay and all these different producers on this show, and you heard the horror stories about, you know what I'm saying, about the situations and their first images of males, and you know, some of the guys, their first images of women. And my guy, one of my Plan B guys called me. He said, why are they saying this is um a narrative for the black family, you know, for everybody? And I said, this is a war tactic. This is who they raise up. You feel what I'm saying? Um, and fast forward from the era of chattel slavery to that of sharecropping. The women's lib individuals, they had even approached Fannie Lou Hamer, and actually had articulated Fannie Lou Hamer that we're going to help get you free from Pap, referencing her husband Pap. And Fannie Lou Hamer said her response was, me and Pap are trying to get free. We are trying to get free. She, you know what I'm saying, she had an assessment that she was not, like when she was beat in the Mississippi jail, she was able to see past the black woman, the guard, the prisoner, the fellow prisoner that they told that she had to beat Fannie Lou Hamer. She didn't just say, I was beat by a black woman. She pointed out the guards that forced this other woman to beat her. So if the conversation be held, put in correct context. You feel what I'm saying? And, you know, and not just your own experiences, you know what I'm saying? Like, I recall I had told a prison guard, Lieutenant Luther Manning, in Joliet, I said, had you and your crew, your team, been my first contact with black people, if I came from Mars or somewhere, I may have joined the Ku Klux Klan, if that had been my first concept of the black community. So people have to go back and do some soul searching and some mind check and say, what you know, what's their first contact? You know what I'm saying? Does that speak for the general populace? And also, to combat liberalism. Because you know what I'm saying, people would say, yeah, you know, oh, man, you seen some men, you seen some women. Okay, when point do you come to say, okay, you wouldn't call it contradiction? In other words, a lot of times we want to call it, we don't really want to call it. We want to do it in a safe way. We want to say that's messed up, but really don't want to challenge that. You know, so you still want to maintain what we refer to as a class piece. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, like people say, we let people know. No, there's a definition for the Black Panther Party, and we don't cut no corners when we come across, counterfeit cash, counterfeit cats. You know what I'm saying? We say no, that's illegitimate currency. In fact, we don't even say it. We watch who tries to go spend this corrupt currency. You know what I'm saying? We study that. We watch that. You follow what I'm saying? And we move accordingly. But comedian Lunel, who I love. Comedian Lunel, they had just the interview her on TMZ the other day, and they just caught up. They just caught. It wasn't even a setup. It wasn't even a set interview, and they approached comedian Lunel, who I got utmost love and respect for. And I recall when she came to Chicago and performed one time to show her brother Ballhead and some others who I love. She said somebody Chirac, and she said someone told her, "Oh, don't like that. Don't call it Chirac." And she said, "Have you seen the news lately?" That's I'm giving you a little background who y'all check out. So this interview on again, I don't want to call it an interview. They just popped up because once the interview, at least we coming in such time. They approached her in regards to Christopher Darden, the prosecutor on O.J. Simpson case. Who that movie, the O.J. Simpson, they gave a psychological profile on Darden. They know his whole MO. But when they approached her, and they were talking about, saying about his, saying this whole dynamic about him representing the guy who's allegedly shot Nipsey Hussle the Great. Nipsey the Great. So Eric Holder, which I was just on a side note too. It's too many coincidences. I mean, Cat's killing me with this whole fight night. Oh man, even the name of this dude. I mean, you can't make this up. You know what I'm saying? His name Eric Holder. So now, the state, they think so far. Like, okay, so now you type in Black Panther now, as opposed to the courageous stances by, Minister UEP Newton, Deputy Minister of Health Doc Satchel, Deborah Johnson. You gonna be confronted with Wakanda movies and so on and so forth. When you the first Black Attorney General is Eric Holder. You know what I'm saying? Now you want to pop up with this image of this guy, you know what I'm saying, who they who they admittedly, saying no slight on the mental health contradiction, but the individual who they say documented the mental health issues, so on and so forth. So this are the tactics how the state thinks. So you say it's too much quote unquote coincidences. So they but Lunel. So Lunel had said so she said she went in about this guy Darden. She said, man, he's past Uncle Tom. She says past. She said Judas, and so the guy said for DMZ say, well, wait a minute, isn't this guy, shouldn't he have representation, so on and so forth? And she popped that political Pandora's box open on him. She said, man, what you know what I'm saying? She said, give them them same white, raggedy, unqualified public defenders they get everybody else down there. Hiding the contradiction, like, I mean, how this guy all of a sudden get equipped with this top former prosecutor now this lawyer? You know what I'm saying? So let you know, again, in words of A-Ball and MJG, fresher than Coke. This is fresher than Colgate deep in the Watergate. And another point she made, a point I'm going to about this, and this is something they tap into our emotions in so many cases. She said, well, what about, she said, his daughter? She said his daughter has been harassed. And Lunel's response, she say, well, man, she say he didn't care about his daughter. When he took that, he thought about him. And this is something that runs rampant with this present, not only this generation, but amongst you listen to the words and terms people use now. It's me, I. You know what I'm saying? And people say, this is how I feel. And negating any dynamics about anybody else. You know what I'm saying? And this is the imperialism. It embeds in you arrogance. And the ruling class, in many cases, can't afford, literally and financially, to take that position. However, when you in the colonized community, your actions, you know what I'm saying? Because so many cases that we see where they would take these groups of people who engage in reactionary rhetoric, and they'll use them as seeds, they'll put them out there to justify doing sweeps, locking everybody else up. You know what I'm saying? So again, that's something that the oppressed community in particular cannot even afford, this whole individualism, you know what I'm saying, this rank individualism. And so this is Darden. He's not even, again, this petty bourgeoisie individual. Not even a thought about, you know what I'm saying, the this is after you hearing about the guy who's Eric Holder, the alleged killer of Nipsey Hussle, about his, you know what I'm saying? Later, his brother supposed to committed suicide. The repercussions coming down on his girlfriend, family, so on and so forth. So for a person to even to take a position, you know what I'm saying, go out, not out of starvation. So again, this is something else too, because another error that people make is always about money. These are people that say about money and sex. These are the type of reactionary response people have. Not the case. You'll be surprised. Even they had a psychological profile on Christopher Darden, the movie O.J. Simpson. His whole wanted to be accepted by the ruling class. You know what I'm saying? Going against his biological father, whatever the case may be. So again, not just about no money. Not just about no money. You know what I'm saying? That the fight for that to be accepted, that pat on the head by the ruling class. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. Free them all. Right, Black Catch, you can. Just right on. Free them all. So so Lunell's response was, and she said he said Darden was not concerned about, you know what I'm saying, about the daughter. Rosina, I just got to speaking about you, man. Right, hey, come on back to Chicago, real talk. And Gino, we see you on the bill. That's what it is. Welcome to Freedom Radio, Intellectual Radio. Y'all can tune in with a 708-223-8953 or 929-477-3785. Also, what she said, and this caused a question a lot of people want to deal with. And yes, it's Conrad. I don't think he had an option. That opportunism and need to be important be called in hand like crack. He probably told his daughter to man up and take that shit. Hey, so we told, okay, right on, Conrad, and not even probably didn't even tell her that. You know, probably even have a conversation. Oh, no, okay, no. You saw a post after she got a okay, right. You saying probably told her after, like yeah. They don't. That's the arrogance, and this is something that you see in particular with the race question. We talk about the, you hear me see, we have race arrogance, class arrogance. It's about, about them. Then when the heat comes down, then they start speaking French. We all together. Now, so you're like, whoa, we want to, it's about them. And people tell you, people say, I don't see how they can get. Our community is flooded with potential. Political prostitutes and mercenaries. It's flooded with them. You listen, people tell you anything. They'll do anything for they'll tell you this. And not some people, they don't really mean it. They tell you. You know what I'm saying? And not just our community, other community, but a lot of people are not forced with those type of dynamics, you know what I'm saying, conditions. But it's not just even the question of the resources. Again, that approval by that same system that's responsible with the done. Man, you'd be surprised. Lil Wayne is impacted by when he shot himself. The first person he seen was that white police, what he referred to this day is Uncle Bob. To this day, it's embedded. Lunell he said, the guy actually said, well, his daughter, what should she do? And a lot of people get caught with that. They say, because you know what? The state has given you these definitions. They have fed you these Brady Bunch TV shows and Walton TV shows that you feel you try to go along with it. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to acknowledge they themselves don't even ascribe to that. It's a front. Go look at what really was going on the scene of the Brady Bunch TV show. What really was going on? You know what I'm saying? They feed this fertilizer to our communities, and we deal absolutes. We say, well, we got to go. Lunell says, man, get a new daddy. Point. Now that people say, oh, that's cold. When you in certain conditions, especially, you know what I'm saying, that's impacting you, know, to come to grips with that, you know what I'm saying? In fact, Eric Mobley, hey, always honor, free them all. Kim, hey, revolutionary, love, respect. Hey, long live the legacy of Deputy Minister of Defense Bunchy Carter. Free them all, right, Black Cat, you know what I'm saying? Continue condolences. Continue curbing community condolences in regards to your grandmother, that matriarch. Real talk. Welcome, Kimberly Santana. Welcome. Free them all, right on. So that position, and I thought about something. That's the type of climate that people have to come to grips with. Where you seen where Malcolm X had talked about, he said there was a revolutionary climate in China where it came to a point, call him, okay, got a call in queue. Let me say this. Malcolm X had said there came a point in China, he said it was in front of the Time magazine. There was a young girl from China, I think she's about 14 years old. She had a 45 to her biological father's head, and it was translated to what she said was, he is an Uncle Tom. He betrayed the revolution. It had got to that point that they were saying that the politics, the conditions had transcended all of the conventional definition that the state, you know, who put certain positions, who get, you know what I'm saying, you had no choice of. You know what I'm saying? To call that question. It's kind of like my man said he was going at this one of the sons of Alpo. You know what I'm saying? The one who this is Get Out, who's documented on record. is an informant. And again, the guy told Alpo's son, he said, man, listen, man, really, you coming from a deficit, man. He said, your pops is a rat, you like a mouse. He said, you coming from a deficit. And he said, I really was fighting, trying to plead your case. I was telling guys, that's not your fault who your pops is. He said, but other guys said, whoa, wait a minute, man. He ain't denounced it. He taking pictures with dude on Instagram like they finna go to another planet. And dude said, he can battle with that. You facing and calling at some point in time. See, one thing, you know what I'm saying? I'm cut from the cloth, whoever it be. Biological family, friends, man, the contradiction must get, you know what I'm saying, must be called, you know what I'm saying? And some things are premature. Because again, our people, it's like surgery. You say, well, you can't cut that right now because it's cancerous. It damages the whole body. And there are certain, we have to have a scalpel. The time is correct because we're trying to save as many as we can. We're trying to heighten the contradictions and not hit with a blanket approach, y'all. We live and direct, y'all. Call it. Come on in with us. Okay. Yep. Welcome to Free Radio, Intellectual Radio.
Free them all, Chairman. Free them all. It's Erica calling.
Right on. Welcome for Free them all.
Free them all. Just wanted to say first is condolences to the Hoover family about Mother Hoover. Condolences to the community, everybody affected by that. And I just want to, get on here and just tell you, I don't want anybody to forget about the Hampton House. Like the Hampton House campaign, Save the Hampton House, hashtag Save the Hampton House. You do a lot of work, with the children. There's a lot of things going on there. It's a lot of history. The Black Panther Party, Deputy Chairman Fred Hampton Jr.'s legacy, all up in there. And just to remind, the audience that, it's very important to keep that campaign, supported, support the real. So I wanted to call in and give you that energy, tell you the condolences to the Hoover and Save the Hampton House.
Right on. Free them all. Right on. Right on.
Free them all. Yeah.
Right on. Revolutionary Appreciation. Free them all. We thank you again. Forces such as yourself, others, who've been, supporting, coming up, directly, indirectly, putting the word out. Again, we appreciate y'all. This campaign, we come up on the 50th year after the assassination of Chairman Fred. We got to move fast. We got to move organized. You know what I'm saying? I see you, T, in the building. Free them all. That's it. Antoinette Perry. That's what it is. Right on. I just have a flashback. I remember those sisters in the neighborhood. They was growing up. They greet each other. Hey, T, what happened? Hey, go get us. You know what I'm saying? Man, even with that always been gender contradiction, but that's something right there. You know what I'm saying? Not giving your whole resume, but I recall like it was even times I had to do some hunbugging on the battlefield. Hey, her, Lil Sean, and all of you, and you weren't tripped about, man. No, get the brothers. Whoever first one you see, and the deal is in this battle, in this war that's being waged. We must acknowledge that there are contradictions. However, never let the oppressor exploit our contradictions to their benefit. Because the deal is when they get similar to what we've seen in Rwanda, with the Belgium, the French had exploited class contradictions. I mean, imagine the French saying, just look, and they did it. This too. We're going to meet with a certain community. We just want to meet with the Hutus. We're going to talk to the Tutsis, so on and so on. And you know what I'm saying? And you say, whoa, wait a minute, what's going on? Do they, and flip the script, reverse the tables. Imagine going to a certain sector of their community and say, you know what I'm saying? I want to build you up at the expense. Don't get me wrong. There are times people need, you know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. It's time when sisters just need to chop it up. Do they, the sisters are talking, the brothers talking. So, don't get me wrong. However, at the expense, again, this is a society. This is a society that encourages and should I press? Hang it up. Oh, okay. Free them all. Yes, indeed. Just come right there. 929-477-3785. No, that yes, indeed. Free them all.
Yo.
Yes, free them all.
Robert Reed.
Oh. Yes, indeed. So we live and direct, y'all. Y'all come on, tune in with us. Press 1. We're going to come right down. Are there any callers in queue? Oh, we call it, okay. All right. So we live and direct, y'all, and so not at the expense. Like we come from a society where it's Sheikh Anta Diop. Remember these names now, Sheikh Anta Diop. I think he references actually a matriarchal society. We worked in harmony with each other, nature, women, the land, so on and so forth. We are subjected to a society. I'm using that term loosely. Well, the deal is that in order for your tree to grow, you have to chop someone else's tree down. In other words, so to be a man, it comes at the subjugation of a woman, and vice versa. The woman comes at the expense of a man. As opposed, we come up, we can hop on the elephant and go where we're going, and the elephant can still be who it is, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? There's an ecosystem where, yes, there were some contradictions. And people, you heard people say, "Well, I heard it was slavery in Africa." Yeah. However, never nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's never nothing to the point of that of the colonialists have laid down on us. You know what I'm saying? Whole totally different dynamic. Real talk. Oh, dear favorite one. Right on. Since I see you in the building, Wayne Clark in the building. That's what it is, y'all. Love and respect. Then the brewer, right on. John, right on. Let's make some principal coalitions. You know what I'm saying? Let's heighten the contradictions. And let's be very clear that they're it's kind of like I was doing this piece that Nipsey Hussle was doing an interview, in fact, in Chicago. And man, this cat was this young man. This cat, man, this young cat, man. Humbleness and what I'm saying, just they was interviewing the cat, and he had said something to the fact that he wasn't familiar with the different politics of the street culture in Chicago and all that. But he said, I'm sure there's similarities. He's talking about LA and everything, but he was saying basically he's talking about how able to, say like the real recognize the real, like even it crosses the. He said there's cats that you might grew up in a particular street organization with that don't have the same code or principle that you have, but another cat from another opposing thing that you can relate to, you pick up on it. And that the deal is we cannot be subjugated. You know what I'm saying? Because they'll say, okay, just on something that's, you know what I'm saying, the state say, okay, I want to classify y'all this as all men, all women, you know what I'm saying, all children, so on and so forth. Like, no, like you notice, like even I'm real careful with the terms like the elders, so on and so forth. We don't subscribe to this absolute just because you're a certain age, you know certain things. You know what I'm saying? It's a dynamic, you know what I'm saying? We do take into context, experiences, taking into account dynamics that the ruling class takes into account. They study that. And it's not absolute. I was just coming another day. So you have to look at, the last two, let's go with the term generation. This is another term we got to be loose about, because again, when you colonize, even the term generation has to be kind of altered, because technically it's every 21 years. However, in our situation, you know what I'm saying, it depends on how many time, at what time a populace of men gonna be locked up, a populace of women gonna be locked up. You know what I'm saying? And so we have to be, how they say in the Navy, the Marines, assess and adapt. But you have to put this in context, you know what I'm saying, and say, okay, man, how the old saying go, fishermen recognize other fishermen, and we're gonna paraphrase that. Fishermen and women recognize other fishermen and women, and that's like Tupac would say, man, we're gonna connect up, you know what I'm saying, so go get us, you know what I'm saying, all over, you know what I'm saying, and and that, again, that's not as limited to just the men or just the women, you know what I'm saying, 'cause we in this war that a lot of us are conscious of, a lot of us are not conscious of. It's things that we have to resort to do. But again, like you can come through the community now. You know what I'm saying? Some, you say, this time it's better for the sisters to drive the car as opposed to brother. They're not pulling us over, so on and so forth. But never, don't later on just give me no reactionary assessment later on down the road and say, oh yeah, at this time, this was going on. So whoa, wait a minute, the women were doing most of the drive. Well, make sure you point out to me who they was pulling up, or who, you know what I'm saying, who was getting licensed and so on and so forth. Like it's, like even the image. Like somebody like even now in Chicago, with the Chicago electoral politics, it's you. You at some point you got to say, wait a minute, these are selections, not elections. Come on now. You just can't say all. If you go to Las Vegas, and you say, wait a minute, I'm just winning all this money at the same time this is going on. It's just too much, you know what I'm saying? Too many consistencies. You know what I'm saying? What's happening, you know what I'm saying, the time with the political agenda across the country. You say, okay, acknowledge that. Let's be upfront about that. Now, some people can flatter themselves. Oh, I just won this. I just done. But again, when you own a plantation, and that's what this what this is. Somebody, now you may be missing the potato sacks, you know what I'm saying, and the cotton, some tobacco, and the milk. In some cases, you're not even missing that. But that's what's happening here. Yeah, this was happening here. I know a lot of y'all going back and Googling, pulling up this Emancipation Proclamation, so on and so forth. But this was modern day slavery. Yeah, you can dress it up. I know you get your cell phones and all that. So this was happening here, and you look throughout history, what type of tactics were employed at different times. Damn, Muhammad, y'all make sure y'all tune in State of the City, y'all. Let me cut no corners. Baltimore in the building, y'all. Real talk. So that's what we're talking about. The dynamic on how saying gender. Saying you look and you look at even like how the Donald Trump, the persona of Donald Trump, saying, who, I mean, by all accounts, they say like this, presidential Archie Bunker, saying, how he deals with the race questions, so on and so forth. His, saying, he never made a point about who his daughter's married to, and see the ruling class go, see, our community get caught with these trivial pursuits, like, man, Obama, you see how he dress, how he walk. You don't see other communities, saying, saying, they call it Donald Trump. They want to know about the policies. Saying how it impact their community, so on and so forth. So wherever it come through, if it got come through this dude who y'all call with this bad suntan, or come through his daughter with the long, who people think the stereotypical, oh, she blonde hair, dumb. Long as that business get addressed, as long as that business, however it got to go through, it's a machine. It's a machine. Man, they think, let's get this car rolling. They not tripping all this whole, man, my car waxing, shining. They like, looks good, but tell me one stop that your car done made in your community. Tell me one person your car done dropped off, got somebody from plan point A to point B. Give me your you told me Obama, man, look how he dressed, and he cold, he had Cody speaking. He seen the Al Green song. Your car look real nice, sir. We can sit right here at the auto show. You want to stand back, take a picture, and brag about this is the first such and such car. You ever started up, sir? No, man, just the way it look. Other communities want to know. No, we need some, man. I'm trying to, man. How does this car impact the TIFs, tax increment funds? How does this car? You know what I'm saying? Well, that car might can't do it, but we got the spark plug. His daughter gonna do it. She gonna go to Africa. They want to know, is the business being addressed? How does this impact, generational wealth? How does it impact, my community? Concrete contradictions. Why I'm black. I want to call my color. Oh, sir, no problem. We no problem. No problem. We're gonna outsource it. We're gonna have some of our people gonna get the good. Oh, well, can I pay my uncle? No, you can't do that. You're not. We're gonna get you a fresh car you're gonna pay our people to paint your car. You know what I'm saying? Well, okay. Well, control what type of CD or music gonna be. No, you're gonna have the image. The image of it. That's the image of it. We're gonna control the music. Well, okay, as long as so long I can stand by and take a picture. I can just say I get the title. Don't work. No, you don't need none of that. You don't need to have the title. You don't need none of that. You don't call all the keys. Listen. You're going to get a picture about it. This is your car. Matter of fact, just the social, you can talk about this. You can make songs about it. You can relate to it. You can live vicariously through this car. You may not drive it. Other communities say, no, we need to see how we drive, and we need to roll, man. We need to ride. You know what I'm saying? We need to, how does this, I want to make this, I need this engine to connect to my community. I need this car, to be a reflection of me. I need my children and my children's children when they look up and say, when they see this car, say, man, it's a sense of pride. You know what I'm saying? And you telling me, well, okay, now you say, okay, I can ride. You say, well, just the women are going to ride, or just you have to fill out this form, and not all. You can't be all the way to. You can't say that word. Kind of calm your words when you get in your car. No other communities don't say that. We don't, you know what I'm saying? President John F. Kennedy, he didn't have to whisper he was Irish. You know what I'm saying? He was upfront about it. He took pride in it. But you telling me I gotta talk about this car is mine? You know what I'm saying? But they was trying to put gas in it, or when it's under attack, I gotta defend it, and I gotta brag to my children to say, if nothing else, just the image of that car. So, and my child asks me, well, can I go see? Oh no, you can't go. Don't go by the car. Then I gotta whisper about it. I gotta use code words. Then when this come down, when the tax come down, or the heat come down, I'm the first one on the question block. You know what I'm saying? Then I get, you know what I'm saying? I got to brag about this, but I see other people, you know what I'm saying? They go back and they can trade theirs in, you know what I'm saying? Generation after generation. And you still tell me, wait. I still ain't. I can't. I never drove a car. I never got into it. But you told my grandfather and great grandfather, go fight in the war. Go do this and that. Go get in the army tanks. So generations are proving that we capable of driving something. Get in the army tanks and drive and go shoot them over there. You know what I'm saying? Go do that and come back. Okay, now car drive. No, sir, be cool. Just calm down. Go make some songs. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get to relate to it one day. And everybody driving past in cars. Then one day, well, God get somebody else, you know what I'm saying, to make a song to talk to be. Well, he's not gonna really be from you. Well, what about her? Well, she's gonna be that, but she's gonna we're gonna talk about her gender first. And we talk about, you know what I'm saying, relate to black people later on. At one point, then people, you getting rolled over. They doing drive-bys on you, on us. You know what I'm saying? They coming through, they're laying us down, and everybody else they ain't going through the conditions we're going through. But these cars are steady appreciating, ours are steady being depreciating, dead. We live and direct, y'all, making history, taking history, and taping history. Ain't cutting no corners on this Cub talk here, y'all. Real talk. Let's make history. Let's take history. Let's tape history. Any callers in queue? I'm gonna be talking about something else too for upcoming future. We will distinguish to the Vanguard Party in particular, be it distinguish information from summations. You know, a lot of cats talking about, this whole thing about, I just made a comment the other day, cat tell me, well, I don't think, I never heard of Nipsey Hustle, so I don't see what him being that big that the government would put a hit on him. I told this cat, I did, man, you the same slave. And then they know who Mia Chairman Fred was until you heard Hollywood attempting, I re-emphasize, attempting, talking about doing a movie on him. So a lot of people talking about what such and such said when the state wasn't involved. One of the disadvantages, I emphasize, one of the disadvantages of an unacknowledged war being on you is that there are attacks that are able to go on you without being acknowledged. In other words, there are propaganda bombs dropped on us every morning on the radio stations. We call it music. There are assassinations that occur all the time. We don't acknowledge that. And again, and it's something. And some of the same people who are critical of me when I raised issue with Jay-Z, and I said, whoa, slow down. Slazy did some Murders of Excellence with Kanye, and he said somebody, he arrived the same day Fred Hampton died. You know what I'm saying? Even Lil Wayne saying now that when you're great, it's assassinated. Lil Slade saying that, y'all, we gonna tune out, we gonna make some, gonna roll out, y'all keep on coming in with us, y'all, same time, same station, y'all. Revolution, love, respect, y'all. What's it called? Free them all. That's what it is. Free them all.